Hey, what's up guys? So you probably know by now, Primal Rage is the best gun in the game, and I kind of just want to talk about my build and the difference between crit and weak spots for Primal Rage. So I don't really see anybody talk about that. I know there's a lot of videos on Primal Rage, but this is my maxed DPS. I've been working on this build for probably like 3 months now. It is like insanely long. It's really annoying to get perfect mods, but I think my mods are pretty perfect. But some people are lucky, more lucky than me. But yeah, so let's start with my crit build. If you want to see a video explaining Primal Rage, you can watch Doomer's video. I also want to shout out Pray for Plugs. He originally tested out all the weak spot things. I know we're talking about crit right now, but all the weak spot was basically from Pray for Plugs. So yeah, I want to shout at him. Yeah, let's talk about the gun for a little bit, not for long. But basically, Primal Rage is a gun which decreases your health, like the Touch of Malice, if anybody remembers that gun from Destiny. And basically, when your health gets to a certain threshold, I think it's 30%, then you will be doing more damage to the target, and basically you want to be at 0 health at all times. The Deviant Shield from the Deviation, it helps you stay alive basically. But in this video I'm not really talking about survivability. The content is extremely easy in this game, so if you're struggling, then you should probably not use this gun. But if you're here for DPS, then this is the video for you. So max out 10 stacks, and basically you shoot any gun faster. When you're in the state of fast gunner, you shoot faster. Fast gunner grants fire rate plus 1% and attack. So the most stacks you have, which it goes up to 5 times. So the default stack is 5, and when we use Blitzkrag, we get another 5, so we get 10. So we're getting 10% attack, and we're also getting 10% fire rate as well. So pretty big deal. And that's what fast gunner does basically. It just makes it so you shoot the gun faster. So the chest plate we're using, when the player is in fast gunner status, the less ammo or magazine pass they have, the higher the chance of triggering extra bullet. So again, extra bullets fired, even though we're always getting bullets back, but it still makes it so we shoot more, I'm pretty sure, even though it doesn't give us any ammo. It just gives us an extra bullet. The ammo you want to use is Precision SMG AP ammo, because you get 25% weapon damage when in fast gunner, and you're always in fast gunner. So that's the reason why you do more damage, and the way you get platinum crystals is you do Mannheim. So just keep on farming Mannheim, you get more platinum crystals. I don't have it on this base, but yeah. So that's the reason why Illusion sucks. Actually does less damage. Don't use this. You can also use this one, which I don't know if it's worth using actually. Let me say low. We'll have to see what happens in the Nightmares monoliths. Oh my god. That'd be interesting. What I like to use is we use shooting blitz, and it has to be fast gunner mod. The suffix fast gunner is better than not having the suffix, but of course it's all mod dependent, and you want to have 6 great ones. Sadly I'm unlucky and I got 4.8. I also got another 4.8, but because of how much crit I have, it kind of outweighs it, but it's pretty close. Like if you're losing like 1.2% great ones, you would need like 6% crit to summon. It's a pretty big stat, that's what I'm saying. So great ones is a pretty big stat to have, and you would need that for most of all your mods. I'm using Bingo. Now Bingo doesn't actually matter what the stats you have, because you're just using it to use to amplify your damage. So these stats don't matter at all. Bingo is just used to stack vulnerability on the target. So what I use is 3 Lonewolf armor and 2 Tides armor with chamed mag top. For this you want to use shooting blitz weapon damage. You can also use Weakspot if you wanted to, but it would just be better to change to Weakspot build if you have that, of course. So if you're shooting Weakspot, then just go to the Weakspot build and you'll do more damage. It's a pretty crazy mod. So after the first gunner duration plus 4 seconds. There's no cooldown, so you just get plus 15% weapon damage. But the other one is a cooldown. Why is it up to 45%? I don't know why this is worded differently, but yeah, I think it does exactly the same. For some reason it's 3 seconds instead of 4 seconds. I don't know. Strange why they're different. This is my accessories. I don't think there's anything bad in this. It's really good accessories, so yeah, just put these on and it'll be good. It'll be stable. For my helmet, I use Weapon Symphony. Now, we did do tests on this. Well, Doomers did tests on this, and it is very close. But momentum up is actually better by the smallest margin. There's only like a 2% difference between using Weapon Symphony and using momentum up. If you actually switch the weapon, you have to originally switch the weapon, and it doesn't matter how long you fire. Basically, what this mod does is for how long you fire for. So your fire rate and your weapon damage gets decreased every second up to 60%. You're probably reading that and thinking, oh, that's going to be bad, but it's actually really, really, really good for the first 2 seconds, and then it drops off. Whichever substats you have that are better, you should just use that, really. I mean, 2% is such a small margin. I'll just use Weapon Symphony because I don't really have a good momentum up mod. So you want to have a Lunar helmet, so you can see that the Lunar mod's crit at 30%. Now you have to be at low HP, and you will get plus 30% crit to the trigger. So using this gun, you would pretty much always be at this stage. So it's very, very good. For mask, you want Blitzkrag. There's nothing else that you can have. Basically what this does is that every stack you get plus 5 additional fire rate, which is really insane. Yeah. The chest mod does not matter at all. What mod you have, as long as it's a Lunar mod. So it doesn't matter about this what mod you get here. It can be the best PvE mod you can get would be the Ardent shield, which gives you another shield, basically. You get 50% damage reduction, which doesn't matter because you're gonna get one shot no matter what happens. But when it does 1000 damage, it will not penetrate the shield, which means you will not get damaged. So if an enemy shoots you, and it will probably do more than 1000 damage, then it will not kill you. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter because we already have a shield anyway. If they remove the Cradle, then this will be your lifeline. But most of the bosses, they don't actually shoot you immediately or hit you immediately, so it's fine. I'm using Deadshot. There is nothing else you can use. It's a 40% crit damage increase every crit hit. And you actually want to use crit boost as a crit amplifier. Now I did a test and crit boost is actually better than crit amplifier. So yeah. So I don't really have a good mod, but this will do. For this one, I'm using Rush Hour, which is actually an insane new mod they added, which is every 10% HP loss. So you want to be at 0% HP, really. You get a 4% weapon and status damage. Of course, status doesn't matter. But if you're using Boom Boom, you can also use this as well. This mod is insane, actually. So you get, I think it's 36 weapon damage from this, which is insane. You're at like 0, you can't get 0 HP, but you get 90 HP, I guess. There's no cap, so that's good. So yeah, I'm only missing 8 crit damage, so if we equip my weapon here, you can see we got 141 crit damage and 43 crit rate. So that's pretty crazy. I got 4 HP. Yeah, we got 127 weapon damage, and we only have 39.6 boss enemies, sadly, because if I was more lucky, I could get more, and this would be even more better. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this build. You know, my luck sucks. And I'll just show you the damage I get in dummy. So I'll do 3 bingo shots, and we'll do Wolf. We hit 200. Oh. So, about 200k, and without the bingo shots and without the wolf, I think I do 114. So let me do it without anything. It's a lower health level. My health goes up every time you get a crit, so that's why our health is going up. So if you have more sanity, you're actually going to be doing more damage. If you're constantly, well, you are going to be constantly getting crits. So if you have more sanity, if you eat, you probably shouldn't eat this because you get gastric discomfort, which changes your weight. So don't do that. But if you eat cactuses, you get sanity, and it stops you from healing. So that's very good. So you can use that if you want to do more damage. The dog also gives you more damage. If you have a red dog, the Lunar dog, you get 43.2% weapon damage, and you get, was this 7% weapon damage? Okay, yeah, I think so. Okay. Anyway, it's more damage. So the best buff in the game is mixed fried hot dog, and it increases all damage as long as you use bullseye. So you get a 27.6% buff for enemies affected by bullseye. Yeah, pretty insane. So this really helps with great ones and elites. So now I want to talk about my other build, which is a Weakspot, which is a better build actually, as it's good for Mannheim and Trent, but mostly Mannheim. I farm Mannheim a lot, and you can also use Axe, but they nerfed Axe quite a lot now, so it's very annoying to use. So usually I don't bother using Axe at all because it takes so long to use it. But you could use it. So for my Weakspot build, I'm using 3 Renegade and 2 Tides with the same top. Now I've got to talk about hides. Really, the only hide that matters is your mask, which is Golden Wall. You could also use the Lunar Wolf, which is 6% weak spot, I think. But I think it's mostly the same. I don't know, you could use it. I think it would be a tiny bit better. But yeah, that's something to think about. But none of the other hides matter for damage. And they nerfed cowhide, so yeah. So, for calibration. Okay. So for the calibration, you want to use assault style, which is attack plus 20%, magazine capacity doesn't matter, but actually does matter. But you can just put the mods, the accessories on to keep that at bay. And you want to use crit rate, crit rate. Okay, talk about this. So instead of the crit rate, you want to use Weakspot, Weakspot, because we're not getting crit anymore. So this is going to be more damage. Of course, you have to hit the head, so just keep that in mind, obviously. You're going to be doing less damage if you don't hit the weak spots, and that's why you use the crit build. So if you're doing dog or you're doing an enemy you can hit weak spots, then you change to that build. Okay, so I use Precision Rush, which increases weak spot damage for 3 seconds up to 45%. And I'm using the Suffix again. It's really hard to get the weak spot damage for some reason. So yeah, I only have 7.2, but still it is very good. Not as much as 9%, but I have 6%, 6.4% weapon damage. So I mean, this is not a good mod actually, but if you had it maxed, the weak spot would go up to 12%, which is 3% more than no suffix. So yeah, you can either use no suffix or suffix. For crit, its max is at 20%, which is 5% crit. And for weak spot, it maxes at 12% weak spot, which if you didn't have a suffix, it would be 9%, which is 3% more. So almost no difference, but you know, if you want to get more damage, then you do that. Bingo again. Use Weapon Symphony or use Momentum Up, like I talked about. Now, because Lunar, sadly, you cannot get Weak Spot. If you could get Weak Spot Lunar, this would be an absolutely insane build. But sadly, there is no Weak Spot Lunar, so it's pointless using Lunar because we're not going to get any crits. And you could use the weapon damage because there's 12% weapon damage instead of 6% weapon damage, but it's still going to be worse anyway. So it's just better to use weak spot damage because you're just going to lower your damage if you just use 12% weapon damage for the Lunar. So basically this is the same mod as crit, just weak spot, and the same goes if you can use momentum up if you get 2% more damage DPS. Now you want to use Most Wanted. Now Most Wanted is an insane mod because every time it stacks up, every time you hit a marker target with bingo, you get 15% attack, like 5% attack, goes up to 15% attack, which 15% attack is insane. So, yeah. The effect can stack up three times and it lasts for 8 seconds. So keep in mind, 8 seconds. It's a long time. So, yeah. You just hit 3 shots real quick with a bingo, and then you just shoot the boss, and the boss is dead. Or Mannheim is dead. So, you want to try to go for weak spot damage, and well, you're trying to try to go for great ones and then weak spot damage. Weapon damage doesn't actually matter that much. You just want to have weak spot is better than having weapon damage, so keep that in mind. For this gun, there is difference in guns. I actually got a good Ardent shield for this gun, this build. So yeah, I don't have weapon damage on this one. I don't have weapon damage on this one. But all these are pretty much maxed. Oh yeah, I want to talk about Bullet Siphon. So Bullet Siphon is kind of useless. But There's nothing else that is better than Bullet Siphon. So we have to use Bullet Siphon. If they add a new mod to pants, then you probably will be changing this. Hopefully. Please add a new mod. For gloves, use Weakspot damage boost. The reason why is because there's a higher percentage from getting the Weakspot damage than munitions amplifier. Because munitions amplifier is 15% weapon damage and Weakspot is 25%. And this gun is better to have Weakspot damage, so yeah, you should always pick this one. Yeah. Same thing with the crit here, Rush Hour again. Rush Hour is an insane mod. I actually got 12% magazine on this. That's crazy. Okay, so that is my build. You can see we have 157 weak spot damage and 110 weapon damage. And I'll show you the damage. It's going to be more than the crit. The first one I'll do is 3 bingo shots and then Wolf. They changed the sight again. Yeah. 204. Yeah, okay. See, it's better. So, yeah. More damage, and we have to shoot bingo, but even without bingo, I think you still get more damage with weak spot. So we'll do that now. It's honestly better not to even use the sights. So yeah. And these are my cradles. For both crit and weak spot, these are exactly the same cradles. You want to use anti-phase, which is for SMGs, and also sniper rifles. So both you use every time you switch your weapon or reload, you get 50% weapon damage. This is only for the shields, which is helpful for surviving. This is for... Actually, this works on Mannheim, and it also works on the dog. Works on all deviants. So as it says on the cradle, not many people actually know this, but damage against deviants plus 10%. So that works on bosses and stuff that are deviants. So yeah, that's a pretty good mod to have, a pretty good cradle to have. Steady hand. Marks strike. This is for bingo. Fast gunner, this is for crit. I don't think this really matters for weak spot, but there's nothing else you can put on, so... I mean, maybe you get something out of it. I don't know. It's just really good for crits. Bounty Hunter, which is only for bingo, I think. Yeah, first marking a target grants attack. Attack is crazy again. Anything with attack you should put on, because attack is crazy. Alright, and that is that. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I also have a elites build as well. I'm not going to talk about that, but yeah, it's exactly the same thing. It just has elite enemies. 39%. Okay. And I end the video here. Goodbye.